Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us at 6 on this Friday night. I'm Dustin here with Jenna. Scott and Anne Marie are off, and we begin with an action-packed weekend all across Central Indiana.
Yeah, lots going on. Indianapolis is home to several big events this weekend, including the World Food Championships. And of course, you can't forget fall is prime time for football season.
And from high school to college and the pros, a little bit for everybody this weekend. Dom and Eli are live with our Operation Football Game of the Week. But first, let's get to Rich Nye out of Bloomington, where IU's homecoming celebration is kicking off a weekend full of fun. The parade just wrapped up. Hey, Rich.
Well, we still got a little bit of parade left here behind us, Dustin. It is IU homecoming. The theme is there's no place like homecoming, kind of the Wizard of Oz theme there. You catch that? So we've seen lots of Dorothys in the parade. Of course, we've seen lots of red and white, as the Hoosiers very proud of their football team and proud to come home to Bloomington this weekend. The Hoosiers undefeated at 6-0 under Curt Cignetti, who has done just an incredible job in turning this program around in less than 2 seasons. Curt Cignetti has the Hoosiers ranked 3rd in the nation, higher than they've ever been ranked before. This team has already beaten 2 top 10 teams, and Cignetti has been rewarded mid-season in his second year with yet another contract extension that now goes through 2033 and pays him $11.6 million on average a year annually. He's quite grateful.
Love Indiana University, Bloomington, the state of Indiana, the people we've met. We have very strong feelings about President Whitten and Scott Dolson. And we've accomplished a lot here in a short amount of time, but still have a lot of work to do. So I couldn't be more proud to be a Hoosier, and I plan on retiring as a Hoosier. And the way that this state has embraced us and our success in football has meant more to me than anything else. So I just wanted to get on camera and let you know that Curt Cignetti is going to work daily to make Indiana the best they can be.
Curt Cignetti is 64 years old, and as you just said, or as he just said, I should say, he wants to retire as a Hoosier. Can they get a Go Hoosiers up there? All right. The homecoming parade starting to wrap up here in Bloomington. There's a pep rally at Dunn Meadow tonight, Carnival till 11 o'clock, and tomorrow, homecoming game against Michigan State. The Hoosiers kick off at 3:30.
What a time to be a Hoosier. All right, Rich, thank you.
All right, to the high school ranks now. It's the last regular season edition of Operation Football. Unfortunately, this playoffs, they're oh so close.
Looking forward to those playoffs, though. We've got a good game in our game of the week this week. Center Grove on the road playing Bloomington South for a top 5 matchup. Dom and Eli are live in Bloomington as well. Hey, guys.
Dare I say a great matchup, Dustin Grove. And we are also here in Bloomington, where Curt Cignetti is probably the richest man here.
Yeah.
So good for him.
It's a good bet.
Bloomington South, Center Grove, number 2 in 6A, Bloomington South, or excuse me, Center Grove top 5 in 6A, Bloomington South number 2 in 5A,
yes.
Eli. Big litmus test for the Panthers here tonight.
I think so. Can you look at when you get to this type of the end of the regular season, who doesn't want to build momentum going into next week's postseason, right? So you mentioned, yes, Bloomington South 8-0 right now. You mentioned number 2 in 5A. In this test that they have against Center Grove, who had been bulldozing teams earlier this season until they had a little setback a few weeks ago against Cathedral in our game of the week that week. So these are 2 teams, both offenses. They like to score. So you look at Bloomington South, they're averaging over 45 points a game. Center Grove over 35. Defense is very good too. So the Panthers only giving up 13 points a game. And then Center Grove only giving up about 14 to 15. So this is one of those lopsided margin of victory teams that when they get out ahead, they usually stay ahead.
Well-rounded teams. The first time these two have matched up since 2009.
That's right.
So, and I talked to Gabe Johnson, head coach of the Panthers, earlier this week. He said, look, no matter what happens this game, it's going to show us who we are ahead of sectionals here in a couple weeks for 5A and 6A. This is the tip of the iceberg. We have much more tonight at 11, don't we?
Yes, we do. We're going to have about 6, 7, 8 games that we have going on, somewhere around that. Nope. So we do. We have another good slate for you. The final regular season week of the year. It's just a crazy thing to think about.
Outside.
It's perfect.
Oh
We're 9 for 9 on Friday nights when it comes to the weather, and we're looking forward to bringing you the highlights tonight on another edition of Operation Football at 11. For Dominic Miranda, I'm Eli Gane. Let's go back to you guys.
9 for 9. Doesn't get any better than that.
I feel like we need to put a tip jar out for Angela for that one.
No kidding. All right, thanks, guys. You've just done a phenomenal job. Keep it up. Hey, and we're not done yet. On Sunday, the Colts look to continue their incredible start to the season as they hit the road to take on the Chargers in Los Angeles.
This is arguably the toughest test for the Colts so far. The Chargers are 4-2 on the year, tied for the second best record in the AFC. Stick around, we'll have some injury updates for you, including the big boost to the defense still ahead. Angela, what do you think? A tip
Big
jar?
game.
9 for
I'll
9?
I'll take a tip jar. But I can't remember a season where we haven't had rain or snow or wind or just all bundled up.
Yeah. That's got to be coming for the playoffs, right?
I'm sure there's something
Let's not
We are
will
so
that.
due.
There's definitely something coming for the weekend, so
Yes.
we'll get you caught up on that. If you're headed to high school football, yes, 9 for 9. It continues this evening. Maybe a sweatshirt or a jacket by the fourth quarter. Temperatures will be falling through the 60s. Low 80s for highs tomorrow. Michigan State at IU. It's homecoming at IU. It's homecoming at Ball State. You can see there are thunderstorm chances. Best advice for these outdoor plans: watch the radar carefully and have ways to get warnings. All modes of severe weather in play, especially on Saturday. The greatest threat at the damaging wind gusts, but we can't rule out an isolated tornado, lightning, and some pockets of heavy rain. This is Saturday at 8 a.m. with Future Track 13. We're in the clear. Here we are at noon. Pockets of heavier rain look to develop across the northwestern part of the state. I'm going to stop this at 3:30. Actually, we'll do the local timeline, stop it at 3:30, because it doesn't look like a washout for either game. With the heaviest rain actually will arrive later tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. I'll have that local timeline for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Angela, thank you. Developing tonight, Indianapolis Metro Police looking for someone who shot and killed a man on the city's west side.
Yeah, this all happened around 2 this afternoon on Donald Avenue near Georgetown Road and 38th Street. So police believe the shooting started as an argument between two people in separate cars. The suspect then drove away from the scene.
Police say the victim died at the hospital. We just spoke with a witness who described the chaos as it unfolded.
I saw the guys coming, driving like very erratically, and somebody was, a lady was like right next to him, to the driver in the car, and she was yelling. I just believe that we just need more control over having guns and stuff.
Police say there is no threat to the public. Anybody with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers.
To a story we've been following all week tonight, about 200 employees at Horseshoe Casino in Shelbyville are on strike, walking off the job in a push to unionize.
More than 90% of workers voted in favor of a strike. Ashton Hackman explains why workers say they're on the picketing line.
Many of the people picketing behind me are workers themselves. A majority were supposed to be on the job today. Instead, they are out on the street demanding the company recognizes a union.
For the roughly 200 Horseshoe Indianapolis employees, their union election was put on hold because of the government shutdown. Workers say they aren't asking just for higher pay, but the right to organize.
We want our demands to get these workers back into the casino is for the company to recognize them as union members.
They're backed by Teamsters 135, who asked for an independent third-party election instead of one overseen by federal workers. They say Caesars Entertainment ignored their request. Now dealers are placing their bets on a strike. Caesars Entertainment did not respond to our request for comment, but has said in the past they support employee rights to vote on unionization.
A vote on the union was originally set for October 17th. That date still up in the air. In Shelbyville, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Ashton, thank you. New tonight, we're now learning more about reports that President Trump spoke with Indiana Senate Republicans this morning to discuss redrawing congressional lines.
It's been a hot topic, and it's just the latest meeting between GOP leaders here in Indiana and White House officials. So according to those reports, the president encouraged state senators to redraw congressional maps here in Indiana to benefit Republicans ahead of the midterm election.
They want to pick up a couple of seats in Congress. Today's phone call also comes just 1 week after Vice President J.D. Vance made his second trip here to Indiana in a matter of months, and the third time overall discussing the topic. Here in Indiana, the idea of redistricting has been met with mixed reaction, with many speaking out against the idea.
Well, a Muncie man is making it his mission to return a community space to its former glory.
We've got his inspiration behind this project coming up. Angela?
Dustin, in addition to the threat of severe storms this weekend, the potential of some heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches possible in some locations.
It is one step closer to being under new ownership.
What city leaders are saying about the deal to buy the heliport. Next.